Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and apologies for the lack of uploads this week. I have been a little bit under the weather for the first time in many years. Yesterday I had a temperature of 39 degrees Celsius, although today I'm feeling a bit better, able to get through a video. I feel bad for not releasing a video for so long. 3 days? Oh my goodness gracious, it might as well be 2 years in the YouTube landscape. So you'll have to bear with me today if I mute my microphone to cough a little bit. And hopefully it's not going to be contagious, at least through the medium of a video uploaded to YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to be playing in the FV4005. But I'm not going to be really the hero of this battle. And exactly who is, well, you can probably tell by the title and the thumbnail. You'll have to see later on and stay tuned. The reason why I don't like the FV4005 in World of Tanks is because it's just such a one-trick pony. It's the kind of vehicle that sits at the back of the map. When you're playing against the FV4005, you've got very little room to be able to make a mistake. Because the vehicle has 1,750 damage, one false step and you've lost at least half your hit points, even if you're a mouse. And if you're likely playing tier 8 or tier 9 tanks, or you're just in a tier 10 medium, you're kind of going to get one shot as well. And so this vehicle for me is just an absolute pain to have, both inside the game and also when I play it. Why? Because it really doesn't match my playstyle. I'm an aggressive player who wants to get forwards to take the fight to the enemy team. I want to try and progress the battle, to try and keep it moving, to try and win a flank, to be able to then try and flank my opponents. And this vehicle, while it can make ambushing shots, especially if you decide to whack a turbo on it and try and go and take part in close quarters combat in the town, for the most part this vehicle is best suited to providing ambushes. And that's exactly what we are going to do here. We're sitting the back corner of the map trying to prepare to catch anyone who makes a bit of a mistake. And in this kind of a scenario, when I'm playing on Ghost Town, the kind of positions I would like to use if I was a medium tank or a light tank, but luckily they don't have any light tanks, is I would make my way along these bush lines here. Any of the vehicles on the enemy team could do that, especially a tank like the UDES or the 121B. Or alternatively, just make your way along here and try and get into the bushes, and then try and get some spots out. Now, the problem with a vehicle like this is it has pretty much negative camo rating. And so if somebody comes around the corner and hides in that bush, I'm probably not going to see them. But if they've got a vision system, they are definitely going to see me. Well, actually, I'm not... Maybe that's a bit of a bold statement. I'm not definite that they would see me. But negating the camo rating of the bush, which is pretty much the only camo rating that the FV4005 has, will lead to my imminent destruction. Because this thing is basically a barn. It's a glass cannon of a vehicle with a huge turret that's easily penetrated by all manner of rounds. So you'll see that I'm fishing here. I'm being very patient, because I do expect that somebody, probably the Centurion Action 10, is going to appear in this location. We could always see our team starting to chat, saying, "UDES, wake up, you idiot." And I say he's not connected. You can tell that with the grayed out text by his name. But oh dear, you know how I said I didn't like the FV4005? I kind of like it when I'm doing 1,500 damage to the newly buffed Centurion Action 10. It was just too tempting for that Centurion Action 10 to take out that artillery there. Could easily see him as he came around the court, as the artillery was deciding to run away, and one high explosive shell would be more than enough to be able to deal with the French self-propelled gun's low amount of hit points. Okay, so in this kind of a situation, I'm going to poke out and see if I'm getting spotted, and oh dear, yes I am. I am spotted. I lose my track, my engine, and I lose my driver. So now I'm going to have to just deal with also having a whacked out engine, at least for the next 90 seconds or so. Now the reason, excuse me, sorry, the reason why I got spotted there is I'm expecting that the UDES is in the bush location. And it's not just, I mean the E4 probably could have spotted me as well, but the fact that I took a shot from a UDES, which high rolls for 491, lets me know exactly where they are. Now UDES is doing exactly the right thing. Spotting in that location is fantastic for a light tank, and if you don't have a light tank on your team and you can make your medium into some advanced vision, it's one of the best ways to be impactful on the Ghost Town map. If he wants to do that, he should definitely set it up with a vision system and with an exhaust, in my opinion. That's what I would pick in the UDES on this map if there's no light tanks. However, if there were light tanks, there's no way I would go down that location with the UDES. Instead, I would go over towards the west, and I would try and make use of my gun depression. Talk about UDES. Do you see that our UDES now has returned 5 minutes into the battle? I'm not going to notice that until now, when the 277 says, I'm reporting the UDES. It's not really too useful. He's back, and the UDES is going to say in a second that it was a connection trouble. And to be fair, respect to the UDES for coming back even after having the connection trouble. And let's see what kind of an impact our returning Swedish medium tank can have in this close quarters game. So in this kind of a situation, I'm just slowly coming out here and hoping that my sixth sense is going to go off, which will tell me exactly where the enemy tank is. There's the E4. We're going to clutch shot, but wow. I was so worried about getting caught by the E4 that I actually pulled back around the corner before I'd even fired my shot. That's all that happens is I put 8,000 credits into the rock. But luckily, I get spotting on the T110E4 and the Jagdpanzer E100 finishes them off. And I get lucky as well that I don't even get hit by the UDES, let alone by the T110E4 in that scenario. And whoa, look, our UDES is back. And I say dudes in chat. I didn't mean to say dudes, I meant to say youds. UDES, apparently I just can't type. I think this was towards the latter part of the evening on Tuesday, when I think I was also starting to come down with this. So maybe a little bit of mental delirium here. But this is just beautiful. The UDES has come back, and I'm telling the UDES where the enemy UDES is, and then I should be able to come around the corner and pre-aim. And that UDES who's been giving me such a hard time in this battle, who actually just killed our Jagdpanzer E100, is hopefully going to get lit up. And yeah, you don't have much armor, do you? Not at all. So I give a big thumbs up to the UDES on my team. Put in my second 1,500 damage shell into a tier 10 medium tank this game. And suddenly, this is starting to look like it might be a possibility that we can make a comeback. And so I say in chat, welcome back, hero. You know, sometimes I will report people who are AFK the entire game. But if they manage to come back within 5 minutes or so, then, oh man, I was just absolutely thrilled that a game that I thought was going to be a complete disaster because of an unfortunate disconnect on the UDES managed to get back within 5 minutes, and the UDES is going to very quickly start to ramp up some impact in this game. So the UDES now is advancing their way along the eastern part of this map, hugging the zero line to hopefully try and avoid the vision from the enemies that are still left in the town. And what would be absolutely amazing right now is if the UDES 1516 is able to advance to be able to get a crossfire into the heavies, but also to hopefully be able to catch any of the artillery on the enemy team. Now, this is an interesting game of World of Tanks, because look, the impact that I've had, I told you, I'm not the hero of this battle, but I loved this game. I loved this game purely from the drama of having an AFK tank for the first 5 minutes due to a disconnect, who then comes back and starts to make some massive plays. And also that hopefully the 277, although they've probably already submitted the report, might regret that report, considering the impact that the UDES is going to have. So I miss the Batchat 155-58, unfortunately wasting another 8,000 credits whiffing against a tank destroyer. However, this time maybe I can get them. But wow, Couché Warrior on our team in their UDES 1516 finishes off the Batchat 155-58, and now the Object 261 is locked in place. Interestingly, the Object 261 has taken all of the field mods, and for the final field mod they've reduced their hit points to increase their aim time. I'm a little bit confused about the final field mod on an artillery. You don't think hit points are important, but when you reduce your hit points to only having 460, now you've gone from taking 2 hits from a UDES to only taking 2 hits half the time. Okay, so in this scenario, I know the VK is probably going to come around the corner, and we get the ambush on Toxic Dragu player. Talk about Dragu, that looks like Grogu. Man, I've been absolutely loving the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, although I'm sure that's not going to be everyone's taste. A lot of people were complaining about the second episode being so dark. I'm not saying dark as in evil or depressing, but dark as in literally I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the brightness of the screen. So definitely, if you're watching that, crank up the brightness of your television, or hopefully you've got some kind of fancy OLED television, right? Where those blacks are inky. I digress. Let's focus on what's at hand. And that is that I've picked up 3 kills, the UDES has picked up 2 kills, and I decided to invite the UDES to a platoon, hoping that the UDES will be able to finish off the Jagdpanzer 100, and we will be getting a Brothers in Arms medal together. This is one of those kinds of games of World of Tanks where it's weird, but they mean so much more to me. It's the narrative, it's the drama, it's the fact that this UDES wasn't here for the first 5 minutes of the battle, and they've come back, they said sorry, you know? They said sorry, and now they're putting the whole of the team on the back. In this kind of a situation, when you're 2 versus 1 against a vehicle that has very big alpha, it's very important that you stay together. The worst thing that could happen right now is if the Jagdpanzer 100 kills me and then resets the fight, and the UDES isn't able to follow it up. But that is not going to happen now. As we see that the UDES 1516 is going to get behind the Jagdpanzer, who is aiming the other way, and finish them off. I press affirmative. I rush towards my new friend, QuickyBaby, who puts a GG in the chat. And that will be a Brothers in Arms medal for the 3 kills apiece. Now look, this wasn't the most heroic game of World of Tanks for me. I basically sat at the back of the map and did 3,300 damage. One-shotting a couple of vehicles and putting in like that extra shot against the Clan Wars reward tank in the form of the VK7201K. And so, don't give up hope. Adapt to the situation. Hope that player is going to come back. And if there's one thing I like in World of Tanks, it's a comeback story. And no better one here than QuickyBaby coming back, getting the most kills in the game, and firmly carrying this very close affair. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's it for today. Sorry for the lack of videos this week, but I'll try and release a couple this weekend. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.